All right, let's talk about what it really means to be great. We have this idea that it's all about winning, all the time. But what if I told you that some fascinating data from the world of elite sports paints a completely different picture?
Seriously, picture it. When you think of a world champion, what pops into your head? It's probably a highlight reel, right? You see the trophies, the perfect shots, the victory laps, just this feeling of nonstop success. We always focus on the wins. But here is a question we almost never ask. What if that whole image of constant success is just, well, an illusion? What if the real story behind greatness is actually a story of failing, over and over and over again?
To get to the bottom of this, we're going to dive into the world of elite cricket, specifically one-day internationals. It's a super high-pressure game where every single performance gets scrutinized. We're going to put some of the biggest names on the planet under a microscope, and trust me, the results are, well, they're probably going to surprise you.
So first up, we have a guy that many people would call one of the greatest to ever play the game, Virat Kohli. He's a run-scoring machine, an absolute master. His highlight reel could go on for days. But what does the actual data say about how often he succeeds?
61%. Okay, hold on. What does that even mean? Well, in cricket, a failure is basically any time a batter has their turn, their innings, and they don't score a big, game-changing number of runs. So yeah, one of the best players in the world falls short more than 6 out of every 10 times he walks out to bat. Just let that sink in for a second. Okay, fine. Maybe Kohli is a one-off. Let's look at another modern master, England's Joe Root. He's known for being incredibly consistent, technically perfect. Surely his numbers are better, right? 63%. Nope. It's basically the same. Okay, now we're starting to see a pattern here. We've got two legends of the game, and both of them are failing to make a huge impact way more often than they succeed.
All right, what about a totally different kind of player? Not just someone who grinds out runs, but a true game changer. Let's talk about South Africa's A.B. de Villiers. This guy was famous for doing things with a bat that nobody had ever seen before. His whole game was about taking big risks to get big rewards.
64%. You see where this is going, right? It's almost the exact same number. Even the guy known for being a creative genius fails at pretty much the same rate. This tells us it's not about your style. It's something deeper about what it takes to be great.
Okay, one more just to hammer the point home. Let's look at Australia's explosive opening batter, David Warner. This is a guy who can literally win a game in the first few minutes with his aggressive style.
70%. That's the highest one yet. One of the most destructive batters of his generation fails to put up a big score 7 out of every 10 times he plays. That's just wild when you think about it.
So when you line them all up like this, the conclusion is just you can't escape it. The single biggest thing these elite players have in common isn't a lack of failure. It's that they are surrounded by it constantly. They fail so often precisely because they're pushing the limits, taking risks that average players wouldn't even dream of. They don't run from failure. They basically live with it every day.
So what are we supposed to do with this information? It completely flips our whole idea of greatness on its head. It shows us that greatness isn't about being perfect. It's about the pivot. It's all about how you react when things don't go perfectly.
The performance coach who put this data together, Patty Upton, said it best. Greatness lies not in avoiding failure, but in rising above. That's the whole idea right there. It's not about how often you fail, it's about how well you respond.
What this data proves is that success and failure aren't enemies, they're partners. That one amazing success is built on a mountain of failed attempts. Failure isn't a bug in the system, it's a feature. It's the price you pay to play the game at the absolute highest level. And look, this isn't just some interesting trivia about pro athletes. This is a huge mental shift that you can apply to literally anything. Your job, your passion projects, your life. It all boils down to one thing: how you think about falling short. So this leads to the big question. Which side are you on? If you have a fixed view, failure feels final. It feels like a judgment, a big red stop sign. But if you have a growth view, failure is just data. It's not a verdict on who you are. It's just information. It's a compass, pointing you toward what you need to learn next. True greatness, then, is really just a commitment to these ideas. It's about choosing to be resilient instead of chasing some impossible idea of perfection. It's about choosing to learn from a setback instead of beating yourself up over it. And it's about focusing on your progress over the long haul, not just the result of one single attempt. So I'll leave you with this thought. If the very best in the world can build these incredible, legendary careers while failing, in some cases more than 2/3 of the time, what does that free you up to do? What could you achieve if you weren't so afraid of a few bad data points along the way?